I first want to start by saying congratulations. You all have been admitted to our program, and we are excited to have you this semester. Our numbers have increased from the past couple of semesters in our online program, so you all have taken this step to further your degrees, your education, and to um, one day serve in a classroom as a lead teacher. I want to start by there's a couple of different things that we do require for our programs as far as field experience is concerned. The first thing we require is a pre-service certificate. Now, most all of you have already completed that pre-service certificate application. We have sent it off, and we have almost all of your pre-service certificates back. There may be one or two of you that we are still waiting on. If you still have not applied for your pre-service certificate, you have to do that like ASAP. We need you to do that. As soon as you're admitted to the program, you take those steps to apply for your pre-service certificate. Like I said, most of you already have done this, but there are a couple that still need to apply for that pre-service certificate. You all, whether you're a para or not, whether you're working in a school or not, you all have to apply for pre-service. If you're a para, you probably already have a para certificate, but you have to have a pre-service certificate as well when you're going through an education program. So that's number one that you have to have done in our program. Number two that you have to have in our education programs are you have to have an account with Student Learning and Licensure, and we abbreviate that as SLL. I'm going to turn my camera off and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what SLL looks like. Wrong screen. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have two screens over here. I've got to figure out which one it is. Okay, so this is SLL, Student Learning and Licensure by Watermark. So this is the platform that we use to keep up with all of your program, your field experiences, your courses. You have to submit some work in this. You do have to submit some of your work in Georgia View, of course, but Student Learning and Licensure is where we keep our data. So some of your assignments do have to be submitted in this platform as well. So this is Student Learning and Licensure. You should have seen this on some of your syllabi that you have had with your instructors. There's supposed to be a statement in all of your syllabi that tell you how to get signed up for a Student Learning and Licensure account. Now, you only have to purchase this account one time. So this account is good for 5 to 7 years. I can't remember if it's 5 or 7, but once you purchase it, when you start your program, it's good for 5 to 7 years. So even if you finish with your bachelor's degree and you want to continue on with your master's or specialist degree with us, you'll still have this account that you can use then as well. So you only purchase it one time. Now, it is a pretty expensive purchase, I will say. If you purchase it straight through the website using a debit or credit card, it's like $130 something. But you can use financial aid from our bookstore. So you can go online. If you're not local, you can go online with our bookstore and put in that you need a Student Learning and Licensure account, and they will send you a code in the mail. And you can use the financial aid credit at the bookstore if you have financial aid at the bookstore. If you do not have financial aid at the bookstore, I would suggest just going through the website to order it, because the bookstore does charge more for it, because they do have to get their portion. But I would say to go ahead and purchase it online straight through the website if you do not have financial aid at the bookstore, or if your financial aid has already been returned to you, like if you've already got a check cut. I don't really know what the timeline and all that is, but if you've already gotten a check cut for financial aid, I'm going to say to go through straight through online to do that. I'm going to pause for just a second. Our guest just logged on with us, so I'm going to let her talk for just a few minutes. Before she comes on, I want to introduce her. This is Miss Michelle Deckman. She is with the Professional Association of Georgia Educators, and we abbreviate that as PAGE. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of PAGE. They have probably been in and out of your schools, talking about membership opportunities with them. Part of our requirements for our programs here at the College of Ed is liability insurance. And so I'll talk about that in just a minute, like where you're going to put that proof of insurance and things like that. But Ms. Deckman is on here to tell you about PAGE's membership benefits. And one of the benefits of being a member of PAGE is that you get that liability insurance. Now, we also can take liability insurance from other organizations. For example, GAE, Georgia Association of Educators, they offer liability insurance. So we can accept liability insurance from other organizations, not just PAGE. However, we do have a working relationship with PAGE, and Ms. Deckman is our personal representative with PAGE, and so she would like to share the membership benefits with you all. Ms. Deckman, I will mention on here, on the call, we have some paras, we have some that are working in a daycare or Head Start, so they would not actually be in a school district. And then we have some that are career changers, so they may be working in the medical field and they're changing over to be a teacher, so they are not in a public school. And then we have some that may be unemployed. So that's the different groups of people we have on today. I'm going to let you go ahead and take over and tell them the benefits of PAGE and if they become a member, what they can expect.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for that introduction, and welcome everybody. It's great to be here this afternoon. So my name is Michelle Deckman, and I have 23 districts in kind of Southwest Georgia. So if you are, in a northern county, you may have a different representative that comes to your school. My role is to go around and share our benefits package with educators, both support staff and certified teachers. And so that is kind of what I do, my role. So with that, the biggest and most important thing that PAGE offers is that legal and liability protection. So should a parent get upset with you or something happen to a child on your watch, you have free direct access to our attorneys. You do not have to go through me. Some folks do call and ask, or they want to tell me the story, but I'm like, wait, I'm not the attorney. Let me give you the number. They are the experts, and they are also bound by that client confidentiality. So anything that you do have a conversation with them, it is in strict confidence and stuff. And part of that membership with the legal and liability is that you get $1 million liability coverage, $10,000 for each criminal defense. If we have anything related in your educational career or field, you do have the criminal defense, employee rights. So if you feel like your rights are violated and it does go to litigation, you also have access to an attorney for that. And then any violations that are reported to the PSC. So if you get a letter in the mail from the PSC saying that you have an allegation made against you, our attorneys do not want you to even contact them, because they'll give you this letter that says contact us within 24 hours. If you're a PAGE member, they want you to call and speak to an attorney, because the attorney's going to ask to look at the letter and they're going to guide you on how to respond back to the PSC with that. All of your coverage is win or lose. So no matter the outcome of your case, if you do go to court, you don't have to pay a dime out of your pocket. That is included in the membership fees that you have to pay. There's no reimbursements, so you don't have to reimburse us for anything. You don't have to pay a deductible or anything like that. And our attorneys, I do have some information, or you can look online, but we have 6 in-house staff attorneys. So you always get to speak to somebody in our office first. And then if they need to pass it along to a network attorney, then we do also do that. And our network attorneys are attorneys like I have two in Albany that I work with, and I know there used to be one in I think Grady County. So we do have all over the state, not only our 6 on staff attorneys, but we have a bank of network attorneys that we do that. We do have a team of attorneys that all they do is look at the legislative side of that. So they are in constant contact with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. If you've never been to a page day on Capitol Hill, it is very unique and a great experience. Basically, you get to speak to your legislators that you are asking for them to support you in your educational endeavors. So that is something that's taken place. And then as a member, you always get information on what is going on with the teacher retirement service. And those of you that are getting ready to enter the education profession, as a retired educator, there is not a better retirement plan than the teacher retirement service. You'll get a check after you get to 30 years until you die. So it is something that is a great retirement package that we do offer throughout the state of Georgia. So we want to make sure, Paige wants to make sure that our contributions are protected and we get information on that. They also go to the state health benefit plans. They're at the DOE meetings just to make sure that everything that's going on in Atlanta or that relates to education is being protected or that you know about it. We offer one-on-one coaching. So as a new teacher, you will be assigned probably a mentor teacher, but if there's still some things that you're struggling with, whether it's lesson planning, behavior management plans, EIP plans, the MTSS, which is the multi-tiered support system documentation that you've got to do, or even like collaborative planning. If you're struggling with that, we can pair you with somebody that is a retired educator that can give you some advice and guidance. And again, that's also confidential. And then if they feel like it needs to go up to the next level to where maybe, especially if it's a personnel conflict, if it needs to go to an attorney, then they will make sure they get you to one of our attorneys. We also sponsor the STAR Teacher Student Recognition. That is something that takes place in March of every year. And, it's just a really neat thing to recognize the high achieving students in our state. We do the Georgia Academic Decathlon, Page Academic Bowls. So if you get a classroom and you want to have your students do some like competitions, you can also do that. And then we do the Future Georgia Educators, so high school students. In fact, GSW does host one October 2nd. If you've never been, it is a great experience also to see the students begin to take their own ideas and the things that interest them and actually teach lessons to the high school students. Our dues are very economical for certified staff. So if you become a teacher of record in the school that you're at, you would select the professional membership, which would be $14.58. Around that, if you're like in Lee County, they do their payroll different. So their membership is like $15.11. And then if you're a parapro, it is $7.29 or $8, depending on where you're at. If you are already working in a school system and you are being paid by that school system, you can't do just the college internship rate, which is $15 a year. You have to have the Page membership as a for your school system. And the reason for that is there's no way to designate what would be considered a field experience and what would be considered being on your full-time job. So that is a big thing. Anyone that is paid by the school system can be a member. Now with Head Start, if you are working at Head Start, I don't think they can be covered unless they are part of the school system being paid by the school system. So that will be something that we will have to look at because they're a little bit different. Let's see what else. Is there anything you think I'm missing, Miss Ward? Trying to make sure I have everything.
I don't think so. I think you covered
Okay.
everything. So I do want to remind them that this is a requirement. So liability insurance of some type going in, being in a school is required.
Mhm.
Page is one option. Page is, I do believe Page is cheaper than GAE, but there may be other options out there to get liability insurance. But Page is
Mhm.
very easy. Obviously, I have the website pulled up here. I'm sharing my screen. On the home page, you would just click on the right side where it says join, renew, or update. If you've ever had a Page account in the past, your information's probably already in the system. Or if you have a current membership but it expires very soon, you would be able to renew it here. If you've never been a member of Page, you can just click the join for a new membership.
Mhm.
I do want to say, we have looked in the Ms. Deckman has looked in the database, and I know there are 4 of you right now that currently hold a Page membership.
Mhm.
Haley Buxton, Crystal Dales, Tiffany Sutts, and Brittany Yancey, you all hold a membership already as a support person in your county. So at this point, you do not have to worry about renewing or joining. You would just need to go into your Page account online and get a copy, a picture, a screenshot, a picture, a PDF, something of your membership card for me. And I'm going to tell you where you're going to put that later. If I did not call your name out in that group of 4, that means you were either not in the database at all for Page, or you have had a membership but it's expired, it's not current.
Mhm.
So if you have had one that's expired from a student membership from a college, when you were if you were at a different college, you would need to upgrade that student membership. If you're working in a school now, you would need to update it to a support personnel membership. I don't think any of you are teacher of record right now, so the highest that you would be a support level right now if you are serving as a para. In the future, though, if you do take on like an internship and you are serving as teacher of record, you would have to go up to that professional membership level. But liability insurance is required for our program. We do need you to have liability insurance. So if you are working in a daycare or a Head Start, Ms. Dykeman can check on that Head Start
Mhm.
question for us. But at minimum, you're going to have to at least purchase the student membership for liability insurance. Like she said, the student membership is only $15 a year, and you would just put in Georgia Southwestern as for your student membership. Those of you that are unemployed, or if you are a career changer, so maybe you're working in the medical field or criminal justice or something like that, you would need to purchase the student membership as well because you're not employed in a school system.
Mhm.
If you're employed in a school system, and let's say you work in a cafeteria or you're a janitor or you're a para, all of those people would need to have that support
Mhm.
membership from the schools, from the school system. So on the website, you would click whichever membership, whether you need to as new, renew, or review your current information. You go through, you check which membership level you would need. And there is a way, I believe, Ms. Statement, for them to set it up as payroll deduct on the website.
Correct.
If you're not already having it deducted from your paycheck. Now, like I said, some of you that are not showing up in the Page database, you may have liability insurance through another organization, and that's fine. You can provide us with that. But I just do want you to know that there's quite a few of you that are not showing up. And so we want to be able to help you get this membership and get what you need for your program here if you're not already a member of some type of organization that offers liability insurance.
And the one thing too, if you do go in and you create an account as a new member, or even if you are renewing and reviewing, if you are renewing and reviewing, and you've never been on the online portal, it's going to ask you to create an account. So you'll have to put in like the last 4 of your social, and it's going to want to email. And we don't want you to use like a school email. They want you to use a personal email and then your password. That way you'll always be able to log in no matter what school you go to. And then once you're in there, it's going to ask you if you're renewing or reviewing, it's going to have your address again, and you're going to go over it and make sure. And then you should be able to select your school system and payroll deduction option there. if you are not being paid by a school system, that is where you're going to get that option to, you can use a credit card, or if you are going to stay with the GSW student membership, you'll be able to find GSW and click on it there. And then that student rate is $15. It's just if you're already in a school system being paid, that you can't do the GSW rate. Is there any questions for me? And Miss Ward has my email, and my phone number, so she can also provide that to you guys if you have any questions. And I'm going to double check with the Page office to see if my Head Start and daycare people, since you're not really doing an internship in the school at the time, or you're not being paid by the school system, and you are a GSW student, if you can join as a GSW student.
I think we have a couple of hands raised.
Okay.
I
have a
Marina,
question.
you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm already in the school system getting paid. So how much would it be for me to join? I
So are
missed
you
that.
a parapro or a teacher already?
I'm a parapro.
So if you do payroll deduction through them, most districts are about $7.29 a month payroll deduction.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I think
And it
that's
looks like Jamie maybe has their hand raised.
okay.
Maybe we have something in the chat. Let's see. I do have a Page membership that doesn't expire until 3/12/05. Jamie, we will check on that for you.
I'll have to check. Jamie, do you go by a different name? Because when I put it into the system with JAMI, it didn't come up, but I can look it up again and maybe I didn't have it right. Let me see if I can. I'm going to see if I can do that right now.
And while we're on here, if anybody else thinks that they may have a membership that we didn't find in the database, let us know so we can look it up.
And Jamie, what district are you in? Oh, wait a minute. I think I just found. Yes. So it looks like she's in Forsyth County. Is that correct?
Yes, Forsyth.
Okay. She is active. She's current.
Okay, perfect. And then Josh Stokes asked, so Page works everywhere in Georgia. Yes, Page is Professional Association of Georgia Educators. So every school system in Georgia.
And that is one of the differences between Page and GAE is that we do not do anything outside of Georgia. We are not part of a national teacher association. So all of your dues stay in Georgia to support Georgia educators. And it's just some counties have different tiers with GAE to where you have to pay a local fee, the state fee, and their national dues. However, it's broken down. I really don't know. I do know that my husband was GAE until I started working for Page. And then he switched over to Page because I told him it didn't look good with him being GAE and I worked for Page. And as a certified teacher, he was paying about $44 a month. But that was in Thomas County. I think that the counties are different based on their local dues as well. So I always paid $14.58 a month, which was the better route. I told my husband I had shoe money.
It looks like Daisy has her hand raised. Do you have a question?
I think Daisy, is it Daisy Tucker?
Tucker, yes.
I see that she was a member at one point in time at maybe Western Governors University. Is that correct?
Daisy, your microphone's muted. I don't know if you can unmute or maybe you can type in the chat box. So while Daisy's typing or trying to
Okay.
unmute, we have another question. Do I need to sign up because I work in a daycare? Sheena, we are gonna find out. Miss Deckman's gonna ask about that. But at minimum, you would have to, if you don't have to have the support or the professional membership, at minimum, you would need the student membership for GSW, which is $15 for the whole year. So you would have to have that student membership if you do not work and get paid for a school system.
And I see Daisy's question on there. So if you have, so you've logged in before, but you probably do not have your Western Georgia or Western Governor's email anymore. That's the email you originally logged in. You can see if it will let you create a new account with a new email. So try it that way. And if not, then we can go maybe a different route, unless you can still access that WGE email. Because then once you get into the account that you've already created, then I can show you how to change your email in there. Okay,
All right,
so if you're a para already, so at the school system, we want to make sure that you select your school system once you get back in there. And if you can't get back in there, I can email you the paper application, and you can email me the paper application, and I can get you enrolled that way as well. Ms. Ward, did I send you the paper application?
Yes, ma'am, you did send me
Okay.
that.
So if you want to email that to her, if we can't get into her login account because of that other email, then I can get her in and they can update it hopefully on our end at the
Okay.
Atlanta offices.
Daisy, if you can't get in, please shoot me an email and I'll send you that paper application. If you
Let me
can't get
see.
in your account. We have another question. I thought my membership was active already. I work at the school system as a para. I think your membership was,
I think it was GSW is what I have on my notes, but let me go look up again. So
I think you had a student membership that you probably paid the $15 for, and it was for the GSW student membership. But we had notes down that it expired in April, so just a few months ago it expired. So you would need to renew, and when you renew, you're going to want to renew as a para instead of a student.
that's correct. And you're going to use the login information. The email is going to be the Radar email. And then again, I can show you how to change that to a personal one once you get back in the system and update. Basically, where you go, if you need to change your email once you get in there to a personal email where it says hi and your name, you're going to click on that, and then you can edit your email in that area. Okay, any other one? And then what you'll need to do is make sure that you select your school system that you're at and a parapro position, and then payroll deduction. I think that's all. Any other questions?
Brittany, at this time, you don't have to change anything. You'll just need to go into your account and get a picture of your membership card. So for everyone, once you're renewing your accounts or creating your accounts, or if you already have an account, go in that account and click on membership card and take a screenshot or a picture of that card, because I'm going to need you to submit that in a place. I'll tell you about that in a minute where I need you to submit it. But you'll need a picture of your membership card.
And to get that, once you get in, it's at the very top right-hand side, and it will have membership card. And if you can't get it, call me or contact me. I can always get it and email it to you if you can't get into the system. Or I can force it to be emailed to you. I can do that. Let's see. Trying to find.
Ms. Deckman, do you mind typing your email address in the chat box so they'll have your
Yes,
email?
ma'am. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get to Brittany's. just to make sure I'm telling her correct.
All right, Brittany says, I'm not sure if I ever logged in on the website. That's fine. You don't have to have already logged in. You probably did it through your school.
Yep, she
Um,
is not.
So you'll need to just go in and where it says renew or review, click that and it'll prompt you to set up an account online, and then you can view all of your information online.
Correct.
All right, Emily, what are you, a para? Are you? Emily's a para, so you would select support personnel.
Support. And it says 8750, but it's not that full amount at one time, especially if you can do the payroll deduction part.
And I don't know if I mentioned this, the website, I know I had it pulled up just a minute ago, but it's PageInc, PAGEINC.org. Just like the end of her email address there, that's the website, pageinc.org.
It looks like we've gotten all those questions.
Any other questions for Ms.
taken care of.
Deckman before she logs off? If y'all do have questions, you're welcome to email her or email me, and I can help you or get an answer from her. Ms. Deckman has been awesome. She's been our representative for 3 years now? 3 years?
This is going on my 3rd year.
Yeah, so we have had a great relationship with her, and she's always been very helpful for our students to get what they need. So if you have any questions, she will be glad to help you. Email her
And
or
I
email
do
me,
wanna-
and I can get with her.
I do want to address Josh's question. So if you work in a system right now and you get your degree and you move to a different system, if you are being a member under the payroll deduction, it does not automatically transfer. So like at a new teacher orientation, there'd be somebody like me, shared page benefits. What you would do then is either one, if you've created the online account, you go in automatically and update what system you're going to, or you would fill out the top, the application and put transfer, and then we would transfer you over. Some of our members, like say that you get your first job in Sumter County, but then you want to go home and you go back up to Atlanta. If you don't change your membership to your school in Atlanta or your district in Atlanta, then it doesn't automatically transfer with you. So that's just something to keep in mind. So if you know you're at a school system now, but you don't intend to stay there, you want to make sure you transfer your membership. Okay. Anything else?
I think we all agree, Josh.
Yes, but just look at it this way. I can speak to what my husband was paying and what I was paying through Page, and we are the most economical group that's out there. And again, take advantage of the benefits. So you're in college right now, and if you are working in a system as a parapro, this is something I failed to mention earlier. In March or April, we'll open up foundational scholarships. And for parapros, there are 2 online scholarships that you can apply for, and it's statewide, but they're $1,500 each. Put your name in the hat for those scholarships. And then if you are already teaching in a school and you want to sign up for our $500 educator grants, that opens up next month. So if there's something that you want, maybe you want manipulatives for groups that you work with, or you want to buy something that's really unique, put your name in the hat for those kind of things. The other thing, it does come with the $10,000 accidental death and dismemberment policy, but you don't want to use that because then that means something has happened to you. But, you know, and unfortunately, I've had 2 educators in my district that I retired from that were involved in a car accident and lost their life. Their next of kin was able to get a little bit of money to help. But that's one of those things you don't want to ever have to use that portion of our benefits. So.
Christiana, so this is your first time hearing about it. I'm guessing your first time hearing about it from GSW maybe. But yes, once you're accepted to our program, so you all have been accepted to our program, you're in your first semester. So yes, as a new student in the program, you will have to have liability insurance. You don't have, we're not requiring you to purchase a membership through Page. You can you can have a membership through any organization that offers the liability insurance, but the liability insurance part is a requirement. We're just giving you this option to purchase through Page just because we have a Page representative that can tell you about it and things like that. But yes, it is a requirement for your program. All right, well, if there's no more questions, then I'm going to let Ms. Deckman, let her log off and I'll finish our part. And then Ms. Deckman, I'll see you in a little while for our next group.
Sounds good. And please reach out to me if you have any more questions or I can help in any way. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. I've got a lot more to talk about before 5:30, so I'm going to just keep moving. Y'all, please stop me if you have any questions. Raise your hand or shout out or type your questions in the chat box. I'll be glad to stop and answer them at any point. Before Ms. Deckman logged on, we were talking about student learning and licensure. So you do need one of these accounts. You do only have to purchase it that one time. If you all had intro classes with us and you had to purchase it for the intro classes and you already have an account, then you can use that same account. To purchase your account, if you do go through the bookstore, they're going to send you a code in the mail, or if you pick it up, if you're local and you pick it up, they'll give you a code. But if you don't have a code and you're going to use a debit or credit card, what I'm going to need you to do is go to sll.watermarkinsights.com. And you're going to have a page to come up look like this. You're going to click on Forgot Password, and here you will enter your Radar email address. At that time, they will send you, the Watermark system will send you a link in your Radar email address with the opportunity to create your new account. So you'll click on that link from your Radar email, and then you will go through and it'll give you a long list of paragraphs about the terms and conditions. You're going to scroll to the bottom and accept the terms and conditions. And then the next screen, I think, is going to ask you, do you want to redeem a key code or pay with a debit or credit card? That's the part that you'll either put the key code in that you got from the bookstore, or you'll put in your debit or credit card number. Once you do that, then you will be able to log into your account. I think they'll ask you to change your password to make it a password that you know. And then once you do that, I'm logging in now in my student account. So this is what it looks like as a student. You're going to see your courses listed. Now, obviously, this is not the course you're in, but the courses that you're in right now, for example, if you're in the EDSP 3000 course, the exceptional student course, a lot of y'all are probably in that course right now. That course will show up. So you'll see all of your different courses show up, and your instructor name would be listed. But then you're also going to see something with a little yellow bubble beside it that says internship. This is coming from my office. So the field and clinical office have put this group in your SLL account. You all are elementary online pathway. You're in our online pathway as a para or daycare worker, Head Start, career changer. You're all taking classes online. So you would see my name here as the instructor, and then Miss Christy Kendrick is our administrative assistant. She's also listed on this for instructor name. So when you pull up this, it's going to show you the different activities that you would be able to submit. Now, I'm about to start talking about the ePortfolio, and this is where you're going to put your link to the ePortfolio in this group. So when you pull up SLL, this is your home screen. You'll see the elementary online pathway, started portfolio F24. That means you all are starting your portfolio fall of 24. That's all that I just abbreviated F for fall. You all are starting your portfolio now this semester. So let's talk about the portfolio. As an online student, you're going to be making a portfolio over the next few semesters. You're not going to have to do it all this semester. I'm going to show you now what it all entails, but you do not have to have it all done this semester. You have to have the portfolio completed by the time you get ready to student teach, which is your very last semester. So this portfolio that I'm showing you now has to be completed, and we have to have checked off on it before you can register for student teaching courses, your last semester. Some of you that may be 2 years or 1.5 years. Some of you that may be 4 years. It depends on how fast you're taking courses, but at minimum, this portfolio has to be completed by the time you get ready to do your student teaching in your final semester. So to create an e-portfolio for your online pathway program, you're going to get into your SLL account after you purchase your account or put in your key code. You're logged in, and you're going to click on e-portfolios on the left side, and then you're going to click create e-portfolio. And you're actually going to create this one from a template. I have went in and I have made a template for you all, so you don't have to do it all yourself. You're just going to be filling in boxes. So create from template. You're going to name your e-portfolio, which can be Amber Ward's e-portfolio. Whatever you want to name it, but go ahead and put your name in the title just so that when we pull it up, we'll see your name there. You don't have to put a description. You can if you would like to, but it's not required. And then these are the templates that you can select from. Well, your template for your program is going to be Elementary Grade Band Experience ePortfolio. You'll click that, and then in the top right, you will click Create. And this is the portfolio, and this is where you're going to start filling in the boxes. So I've made this template. All you're going to do is put the information in the portfolio. Keep in mind, this does not all have to be done this semester. This does not all have to be done in one semester. You have every semester from now until you get ready to student teach to work on this. Of course, you're going to want to add stuff each semester. You're not going to want to just let it sit there and not work on it at all this semester. You're going to want to put a little bit of stuff in there each semester so that you don't get to your semester before student teaching and have to get everything in there at one time. So here we are. We have 4 pages in your portfolio. You see components and pages. You're going to click on pages, and you will be able to see the 4 pages of your portfolio. Page 1 is an About Me section. Page 2 says grades pre-K through K. Page 3 says grades 1 through 3, and page 4 says grades 4 through 5. Now, let me tell you what this means. The requirements for the elementary education program to be able to get your bachelor's degree and to be certified in elementary education, you have to complete experiences in all 3 of these grade bands. So you have to have experience in pre-KK, 1, 2, or 3, and 4 or 5. Now, when we say experiences, a lot of you are working in one of these grade bands already as a para. So the grade band that you're working in, let's say you're a kindergarten para, so you're working in that pre-KK grade band already. Most all of your experiences are in that grade band. However, you can't just work in that grade band and not do anything else in the other 2 grade bands for us to be able to certify you. We have to have proof that you've actually went to some other classrooms and done some other things and taught some lessons in the other classrooms. Now, our program, we do not give you specific we do not give you specific amounts of time that you need to be in these grade bands. So if it takes you 2 days going into a first grade classroom to do the assignments, then that's fine. If it takes you 10 days to go into a classroom to do these assignments, then that's fine. You're going to need to work with your administrators and the lead teacher that you work with. If you're a para and you're in a kindergarten class, you're going to need to work with your administrator and ask, when can I go to a first grade classroom to teach some lessons? Or when can I go to a 4th grade classroom to teach some lessons? You're going to have to work with them to be able to go into those other classrooms to get this portfolio completed. For us to be able to say that you have been in all 3 grade bands, we will have this portfolio as proof to submit to the Georgia PSC to certify you. We do not, as an institution, a university, we do not issue your teaching certificate. We have to tell the Georgia PSC that you have done all of these things, and then the Georgia PSC gives you your teaching certificate. Okay, so I'm going to go through each page, and I'm going to show you what you will need on each page to prove that you have been in those grade bands. Now, everyone in here, in this call, everyone in this program has to complete this portfolio before student teaching, whether you're in a para position, or you work in the cafeteria, or if you work as a janitor in a school, or if you work in the front office at a school, or if you're a career changer, or if you're not employed, you also have to do this portfolio. Those career changers and not employed, I'm going to talk to you in just a moment about you being able to go into a school. I know you're not currently in a school system, so I'll talk to y'all in just a few minutes about being able to go into a school. But before I do that, let's go through and talk about the portfolio. So on your first page, we're going to want you to insert a professional headshot. Now, this doesn't have to be like a professional picture that someone has taken at a studio. This can be a selfie, or someone can take a picture of you on your phone, but just do, a headshot that looks professional. You're in professional clothes. It could be one day that you're at school. Take a picture of yourself if you don't already have a headshot. If you work in a school, you probably have a headshot from your school system. They usually take pictures of all their teachers and paras to put in their yearbook. So you may already have a picture of yourself. Put a picture here. All you're going to do is click on Insert Image and put that image in. All right, the next box is your philosophy of education. If you have been in some of our courses before you started taking courses this semester, if you were in any of our intro courses, I believe you had to write a philosophy of education in one of your intro courses. You can use that philosophy of education. You may want to go back in and look to see if you have changed your mind on anything. Maybe you need to update or tweak your philosophy of education. But if not, and you think your philosophy still stands, you go ahead and submit that philosophy that you have already written. If you have never written a philosophy of education for another course, then we'll need you to type up a philosophy of education. I'm not giving you a limit on this. You can write as much as you would like, as little as you would like. Of course, we need, a good philosophy. We don't want just 2 or 3 sentences. We need a good philosophy, but I'm not limiting or giving you a minimum amount there. Just write us a philosophy of education and submit it here. You'll just upload the file. The next box is resume. If you have not started writing a resume, you'll want to go ahead and start writing your resume. Now, this doesn't have to be submitted this semester. You can still work on it. But as soon as you do have a resume started, go ahead and submit your resume. As you progress through our program and you do more things, your resume, you may want to update your resume, and you want to keep it updated here in your portfolio. So if you put in a resume now, but you change it in the spring of 25, then go in and delete the one you put in and put the new one in if you update it. So you're going to be working in this portfolio for the next however many semesters until student teaching. So you're going to want to update that resume as you move through the program. All right, everybody was hearing us say the professional membership liability insurance. With Ms. Deckman was talking about PAGE professional memberships. I mentioned that you could have it through PAGE or GAE, or there could be other organizations out there. NAE is like the National Association of Educators. I think they offer it as well. There's other organizations, but you have to have that liability insurance for your program. Right here where it says upload files is where you're going to click and upload that picture of your membership card. When I said to go in your account, click on membership card, take a screenshot or save that as a PDF, that's where you're going to upload that file for your membership card. Now, you will need to make sure your membership card is up to date. So if yours says that it expires in May of 2025 at the end of the school year, When you update it for next school year, you're going to want to go in your portfolio and delete the old one and put the new one in. So when we click on it to check on it, we need to make sure we see an updated one and that it's not expired. So make sure you're updating that in your portfolio. All right, at the bottom, there's a commitment form. I'm going to pull up this commitment form to show you what it looks like. I will be emailing you all this commitment form at some point in the next week or so. This, you're going to look over the field requirements on this tiny URL that we gave you here. You can click on it, look over requirements. You're going to tell us what program you're enrolled in. You're going to print and sign. Tell us your email address, preferably your Radar email address there, and tell the date that you're filling this form out. And then if you're employed in a school district or an educational setting, meaning a Head Start or a daycare, we consider those educational settings, then you're going to continue the form below. If you're not employed or if you're a career changer, then you would not worry about filling out the form under that comment. So if you are employed in a school or an educational setting, then you're going to need to tell us what your position is. You can just check the box. Tell us what grade you're working with or an age level. So if you're working in a daycare and you're working with 3- and 4-year-olds, tell us there that it's 3- and 4-year-olds. If you're working with a specific subject, like maybe you're a para in 3rd grade math, then tell us 3rd grade math. Give us as much specific information as possible there. And then tell us your school's name or your facility. So if it's a daycare, tell us what the name of the daycare is. If it's a Head Start, tell us the name of the Head Start. And then your district that you're working for or the county that you're in. Now, some of you may be at a charter school or a private school. Just note there that it's charter or private and it's not technically a school district. Just note that in that box there. Those of you that are working in a school or an educational setting should have an administrator, principal, or director. If you're Head Start or daycare, you're probably going to have a director. We're going to need that person to print, sign, and give us their email address and their phone number there at the bottom. So this means that you have talked to your administrator or your director and told them that you are working on a program at GSW to get your certification and that you have to do these things. So go ahead and tell them, I'm going to need to go to, you know, if you're a para in kindergarten, I'm going to need to go to a classroom in, you know, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd grade a couple of days. I'm going to need to go to a classroom in 4th or 5th grade a couple of days. They don't all have to be done right away, but eventually before I graduate, I've got to go to some different classrooms. So make sure you tell your administrators that. Now, let's say you are at a daycare or Head Start, or let's say you're at a pre-K and your building is only pre-K. You don't have other grades in your building. You're going to have to work it out where you can go to a school for a few days to be able to get your assignments done and to get this portfolio done. If you need my help, then I can help you get placements in schools if you don't know of a school that you could just go to. So I can help you. If you're in a daycare, a Head Start, or just a single pre-K, I can help you get into some different classrooms if you need to throughout your program. I have Ms. Deckman made a comment there in the chat if you all want to look at that comment. But then I do have a question. Sometimes I have to sub in other classes in different levels. Does that count as experience? Yes, that would count. But when I move through the portfolio, you're going to see there's specific things that we need for those grade levels. So like if you know that you have to sub in a 4th grade class, then that day, then teach a lesson to those 4th graders so that you can let that lesson count for your 4th grade experience. Does that make sense? If you already, like if you go that day and you don't know that they're going to pull you out to sub in that classroom, of course, you're not going to be able to just write a lesson plan real quick. But do as much as you can to meet that grade band experience while you are subbing in that grade band. I know as paras, they probably pull y'all out of your classrooms and put you in other classrooms all the time. So I feel like this is going to be pretty easy for you to be able to meet this if your school system does that, if they pull you out a lot and put you in different grade levels. So I'll send all of you this commitment form and you'll fill this out, get your administrators to sign it. I do need you to do this ASAP. I'm not putting a deadline on it right now, But I do need this done in the next, at least month or so. I'm going to go ahead and send this out to you probably next week. I don't know if I'll get it out tomorrow, but I'll get it out to you next week. And go ahead and sit down with your administrator or director and fill it out, and then take it, scan it, or take a picture of it and submit it here under commitment form in your portfolio. All right, so here is a code of ethics documentation. I will send you all a video as well as that commitment form. I'll send you a video of a person from, he's actually an attorney from Page, and he does a long, not long, it's about 45 minutes. It's a video explaining all 10 standards in the Code of Ethics. If you're a para and work in a school system, you've probably already heard of the Code of Ethics. If you're not in a school system, you may have never heard of the Code of Ethics, but all school employees, all paras, all teachers, we're all held to these 10 standards in the Code of Ethics. We have to follow these as professional educators. So I'm going to send you a video. It's like a 45-minute video. Watch that video, and at the end of the video, there are 10 questions. After you answer, and they're not hard. I did it the other day, and they're not bad. It's basically just scenarios that they give you, and you answer if it was a violation or not. Answer those 10 questions, and at the end of those 10 questions, a page will pop up that says you have completed this quiz. Take a screenshot of that page and then upload a screenshot here in the Code of Ethics documentation in your portfolio. That way we have documentation that you completed that Code of Ethics. You have to complete Code of Ethics when you are in the program. We can't let you finish the program. We can't let you graduate if you haven't had Code of Ethics. So we do need you to submit that screenshot as proof that you completed that Code of Ethics video and quiz. All right, we have a hand raised. Marina.
Okay, really quickly. So the Code of Ethics that I just did a few weeks ago, that's something different. Where I had to watch all the modules and take that. I think it was like a 50-question quiz at the end. So that wouldn't count.
Did you do that for your school system?
No, I did it to get us, I had to do it to get accepted into the education program.
Oh, yeah, yes, I know what you're talking about. That was the ethics assessment for the Georgia PSC. So that it's not different. It is, you had to have that to get into the program. If you did not pass that, then we would not have been able to accept you in the program.
Oh, okay.
So you passed that, we accepted you into the program. Now that you're in the program, you have to have that. We just have to be able to prove that we've given you Code of Ethics information. So this is not like a necessity to get it done like right away. Like you don't have to necessarily get this done in the next week or month even. Just when you have some downtime, go in and watch that video. I'm going to send you the link to that video. Go in and watch it and take that screenshot of that quiz and put it on here, just so that we have that before you get ready for student teaching.
Okay, thank you.
So it's going to be similar, like you said, is it the same? It's going to be similar to what you took to get into the program, but it's just a video of an attorney telling you about the Code of Ethics, and then there's a little quiz at the end.
Okay.
But it's definitely not like that quiz you had to take for the PSC.
Okay,
I promise.
thanks.
I promise
Okay.
you that. It took me, there were 10 questions. It probably took me 2 minutes to answer all 10 of those questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm going to move through. I'm going to keep moving. This is the About Me page. So now we're going to look at each of the pages for your grade bands. So you'll notice that each page have the exact same boxes, because what we're wanting to do is to prove that you've done these things for the pre-KK grade band. You've done these same things for 1, 2, and 3, and you've done the same things for 4, 5. Now, a lot of this on this page is going to be things that you do in your courses. And we are not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We don't want you to have to do double the work. So whatever, you'll notice it says what you have written for your courses. Let's skip over to the one in the middle, lesson plan. Reflect on lesson plans you've written for courses. So you may not want to fill in this box this semester because you probably haven't written that many lesson plans yet, right? You may want to save this box for later in your program. Reflect on the lesson plans you've written. Choose and upload your best pre-K or kindergarten lesson plan. So at some point in your program, whether it be in a literacy class or a social studies class or a science class, at some point while you're taking classes within the next 2 years, you need to write a lesson on pre-K or K. Pick your best one and upload it here. Video evidence of teaching. Reflect on teaching videos that you've submitted for courses in your program. Some of your courses, some of your instructors ask you to video yourself while you're teaching. So choose and upload the best video that you were teaching in a pre-K or kindergarten classroom. Now, if you have not done that, if you have not videoed yourself teaching pre-K or K for any of your classes, then you are going to have to go teach a mini lesson in a pre-K or K classroom and upload that as video evidence. So we need to see you teaching kids in pre-K or kindergarten. You can upload this video like on YouTube or something like that and just submit the link below. Or if the video file will submit on here, you can just insert it, insert the video here. Sometimes the videos are too long to insert, but you can try to insert it. If not, put it in YouTube or something and put the link down here in the text box. How long does this video have to be? We're not putting a time limit on it. We just need to see you actively teaching. So we don't want to see you walking around while they're taking a test. We need to see you actively teaching and engaging in a lesson. So you could be teaching whole group, you could be teaching a small group, but we need to see you teaching the students. Now, can there be parts of the video where the students are doing an activity and you're scaffolding? Yes, you could do that, but the majority of the video that you upload, it needs to be you teaching a lesson. It could be a 10-minute video. It could be a 30-minute video. If you have submitted a video for pre-K or K in one of your classes, then use that one. Don't try to make another one. Just use the one you've already submitted. We don't want you having to do extra double the work if you've already done it for pre-KK. I'm going to go back to the first column in this, the first one in this row, the Atlas assignment. So Atlas is a platform that we use. They have videos of teachers teaching. So there's a Atlas assignment attached here. You're going to download this assignment. Click on your download. And this tells you about the Atlas website and being able to get in and look at the videos. You're going to go through the instructions. You're going to pick a pre-K or kindergarten video to watch, one video of one teacher teaching in pre-K or K. You're going to tell me the case number and the title of the video and the grade level it is, all these things. And then you're just going to answer these questions about that video that you watched. So you're going to watch one teaching video in Atlas for pre-K or K, not pre-K and K. It's going to be one video. Choose pre-K or K, and it can be actually here I've specified that you should choose mathematics for the topic for pre-KK. All right, we have a question. I currently work in a special ed classroom and work with kids 3 to 5. Would doing a lesson for them count, or does it need to be gen ed? So do you have any gen ed in that classroom? Is it an inclusion classroom, or is it just completely special ed? So if there's no gen ed kids in that classroom, then you would have to go out to a gen ed classroom to do some to meet this portfolio requirement. The reason is because we're telling the PSC that you have met certification requirements for elementary ed, which elementary ed falls under gen ed. So it falls for pre-K through 5th grade gen ed. So these things would need to be done in a gen ed classroom. Now, an inclusion classroom is okay because you have gen ed and special ed in the inclusion classroom, but you would have to do a minimum inclusion or gen ed for this portfolio. Christiana, I did Atlas before my class and submitted an SLL. Do I have to go back and find that document, my answers? That Atlas is probably going to be a different assignment. So you're going to want to click on this assignment specifically for pre-KK and do this assignment. It's probably going to be different questions than the one you did for your other classes. I believe those other ones were, these questions are formatted more for the actual video. I think those were more broad, general questions. So you can check and see if it matches, but go ahead and download this one and look at these questions to see if they match. If they do match and you did this one already, then you can submit that. But if it wasn't these questions, then go ahead and do this one. Well, my live text I had for another school work, your live text membership should switch over. You'll need to call the Watermark. Just type in Google Watermark 1-800 number and call them, tell them you have a live text account, but that you would like to switch your account over to Watermark because your new school is using SLL. Tell them you want to, not Watermark, tell them to switch it to Student Learning and Licensure, SLL. And they should switch it and you should be able to use that for however many more years that account was good for. All right, and Christiana said she let us choose our grade level, and for the most part, I chose early grade. So, yeah, if the questions are the same and you did a kindergarten, then yes, you can use it if those questions are the same. But just check on that because I'm not positive if those questions are the same. All right, so you're going to just download that Atlas assignment, write on that template, and then save it and upload it there when you get finished with that. All right, so you have at some point, I don't know if y'all are in it now, but y'all will have a classroom management class. It's going to be EEDC 3450. I'm not positive if you're in that right now, but you will have this class. And in this class, you're going to do assignment where you interview teachers, other teachers. And in those interviews, you're going to interview a pre-K or kindergarten teacher. You're going to interview a 1, 2, or 3 teacher, and you're going to interview a 4, 5 teacher. It doesn't have to be teachers in your building. It can be any teacher that teaches that grade level. You can do the interview over the phone. I'm not sure exactly what all that assignment entails, but once you finish that assignment in that classroom management class, you're just going to post it here as well. So you'll have to give it to your instructor however they want it. But remember, when you finish that interview assignment, post it in this portfolio as well. Right here for the pre-K K grade band, we really only need the questions from the pre-K or K teacher. So whatever the questions are that you had to ask that grade band, you can post those here in this section. All right, instructional technology. Upload an image or screenshot to provide evidence of your use and students' use of technology during a teaching segment in pre-K or K. So while you're doing a teaching segment in pre-K or K, this could be the same time that you go do this video of yourself teaching. So while you're teaching, you need to put a picture in there of yourself using technology and of the students using technology. If you don't want to put a picture of yourself doing it, then take a screenshot of whatever the technology is that you're using. So here you're going to put the image of you yourself as a teacher candidate using the technology, and then down here you're going to put a picture or a screenshot of the student using technology. Does that make sense? Are there any questions about that? I want to make sure you know that they're two separate. We need two separate pictures there or screenshots. All right, differentiation. We want to know how you differentiated the pre-K or kindergarten lesson that you taught. Marina, I'll come back to you. Let me finish the differentiation and then I'll grab you. All right, so this can still go to this same one. When you videoed yourself teaching, you had to have differentiated that lesson. Differentiation is a part of your lesson plans. So tell us how you differentiated it. How did you differentiate by content, process, product, and or learning environment? Be specific and give us examples of how you differentiated that lesson with those kids. This is just a text box. You click to edit the text. You can just write a little paragraph in here about how you differentiated a lesson for pre-K or kindergarten. Please make sure you're sticking to this grade band. Right now we're on the pre-K kindergarten page. So you're making sure that you're telling me how to differentiate pre-K and kindergarten. All right, and down here we have two little evaluation observations. So when you go to that pre-K or kindergarten classroom to do this, so you're going to do a lesson. You're going to video yourself teaching it. You're going to tell us how you differentiated it. You're going to take a picture of you using technology and the students using technology. You're going to put the lesson plan that you use. So all of this could technically be from like one go of it. Like you could set up one day that you're going to go teach a lesson, upload the lesson plan, video yourself teaching it, tell us how you differentiated, tell us how you used instructional technology. You could technically do this on one day of teaching a lesson. That day that you go teach it, whoever's classroom that you're in, we're calling them the mentor teacher. So you're going to ask them to do these 2 forms for you after you teach that lesson, after they sit there and watch you teach a lesson, or if they, I mean, obviously they can interact with the students as well. They don't have to just sit back and watch, but they're in the classroom with you while you're teaching their kids. You're going to ask them to fill out this professional behaviors and dispositions assessment. We call it the PBDA. So they're going to fill this out on you, like your attitude, your relationship with adults, your relationship with students, attendance, initiative. So some of these, like attendance, they may not see you every day if this is not the classroom you work in. So if they can't score something, it's okay if they write NA on it. But for the most part, they're going to, if they know you and if they work in the school with you, they're probably going to be able to score most of these boxes. And then at the end, they can write comments if they would like to. What you'll do is you'll take a picture of this after it's done, and you'll just upload it in the box here at the bottom. So whoever that pre-K or kindergarten teacher is that you went and taught the lesson in their classroom, that's who you're going to have do this. If you already teach in a pre-K classroom or a kindergarten classroom and that's where you're at every day, then your lead teacher can do this one for you for this grade band. Obviously, if you're in the pre-K or K already, this page is going to be easy for you because you're there every day. You can do this at any point during the day. And your lead teacher can fill out these forms for you. Here is another little observation. It's called the walkthrough observation. And this is what they could do while you're teaching that little lesson. So they can check the boxes for while you were teaching. Did you keep the students actively engaged? Did you have your objectives and posted, or did you state them? Were your standards aligned with the district or state? They can check these boxes after you teach that lesson in their classroom. Same thing, you'll take a picture of it and upload it into that box there at the bottom. All right, we have a hand up, Tiffany, and then I want to go back to Marina if you still have a question, but Tiffany, you go ahead. All right, Tiffany, maybe you're typing in the chat box. Marina, you want to go ahead?
Yes, really quickly. Back with the technology. So, in our class now, because I work with Georgia Pre-K in a public setting. So now our students works with computers through the Hatch program. And we also have the Mimeo board. So when you say upload a picture of the students, sometimes we let them use the Mimeo board. We pull up like ABC Mouse, where they able to match the letters and match the sound. They go, can I take a picture of them moving the letters on the Mimeo board, or do it have to be like a computer or tablet?
No, that's perfectly fine. If the students are going up to the Mimeo board using it, that's technology. So yes, you can just take a picture of a student up at the board using the Mimeo board.
Okay.
Same thing goes if you're up at the Mimeo board using the Mimeo board, then you take a picture of you doing it, and you could get both of those there in that section.
Do it have to be the same thing, or is just me teaching them a lesson using a Mimeo board is what you want to see?
So it can be different. Right here, I put a statement: the images and/or screenshots can be from the same or separate teaching segment.
I see it.
Yeah, so you can do it from the same time that you're teaching that, or different, whatever works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Tiffany says, will I need to be in a pre-K class in kindergarten, or can I just do these projects in kindergarten? No, you don't have to do pre-K and kinder. You have to pick one. So pre-K or kindergarten. And if you need to put like let's say you want to put pictures of pre-K, but you want to put a lesson plan of kindergarten, that's fine too. As long as all of these things on this page are pre-K or kindergarten. It doesn't have to be both. Pick one or a variety of both. I would say it's probably easier to just do one grade level, pick pre-K or K, but you could put both if you needed to. All right, so you're going to notice on page 3 for the grade band 1, 2, 3, you're going to pick one grade level, 1, 2, or 3. Not all 3 grades, 1, 2, or 3, first, second, or third grade. You're going to do the same exact things that you saw me talk about in pre-KK, but you're going to make sure you have it for 1, 2, and 3. So upload a lesson plan that you taught for 1, 2, or 3. Upload a video of you teaching 1, 2, or 3. Upload that classroom management where you interviewed that teacher in 1, 2, or 3. Upload pictures of technology of you and the 1, 2, or 3 student. Tell me how you differentiated the 1, 2, or 3 lesson. And then whatever teacher you're working with in first, second, or third grade, let's say you pick a third grade teacher, get that third grade teacher to fill out these same forms for you and put that picture of that form here on the in the box where you upload the file. Same thing with 4, 5. Same exact thing. You're going to put a 4, 5 lesson plan, video of you teaching 4, 5. Same thing. I'm not going to keep saying it. Y'all get it. So this is for us to be able to prove that you've done teaching in pre-K or K, teaching in 1, 2, or 3, and teaching in 4 or 5. Remember, this all does not have to be done this semester. You can do this semester, next semester, the next semester, just up until you get ready to student teach. Your semester before student teaching, you need to be wrapping up this portfolio. All right, Marina.
Okay, this is the last question. I want to make sure
Yeah.
I'm understanding correctly.
No,
Okay,
that's
so
okay.
when we teach the lesson, right? So the lesson, it can be on any subject, or what do you want us teaching on? Or is it just something, should we just pick one subject, math, science, social studies, 2 subjects, or
Just one. Just one.
just
One
one?
subject, one teaching segment. It doesn't matter which subject it is. And like I said, it could be something that you like, maybe one of our instructors here that teaches the early lit class makes you record yourself teaching a pre-K lesson. Then you can just submit that because you've already done it for class. You can just submit that here. So it doesn't matter if it's ELA, math, reading, science, social studies. It doesn't matter what subject.
Just a lesson. And then with the lesson plan, so when we create our lesson plan, we just creating the lesson plan. We ain't creating a lesson plan based on what we're teaching for the day. Am I understanding it correctly?
So
Or should that be included into the lesson plan?
So the lesson plan, you're gonna, and right now you probably haven't had to write many lesson plans for your courses, but eventually you're gonna be writing lesson plans for your courses for them to give you feedback on writing lesson plans. You're gonna write like the elementary lesson plan for GSW. It's GSW's format that you'll be writing the lesson plan.
Okay.
So you can submit that, whatever, like the lesson plans that you turn in for your courses, just pick one that you did for pre-K or K, and then pick one that you did for first, second, or third.
Okay, I see it. I'm reading it now. So it's not based off where I'm working at. It's based off of, I see it. I understand now. I got it.
Right.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Tiffany, do you have another question? All right, I have a question in the chat. My county has after school and they teach academics. Could I do it then? Yes, you can do after school. You can do Saturday school. You can do, like, if you're tutoring, you can do that. Working with these types of students in these grades, however you can work with them, you can do that. Tiffany, where's the GSW? Josh, I will be sending out this recording by email. So yes. Christiana, what if our lesson plans are provided for us? The private school amount has their own. So yes, your school has their own lesson plans, but you will have to write lesson plans for your instructors here for your program at GSW. So you're going to need to use one of those GSW plans that you submit and you're graded on. Your instructors are going to be grading you on lesson plans that you submit. That's going to be part of their assignment. So you'll need to submit one of those that you did for GSW. And then where's the gist? I think I answered that. Where's the GSW format? So once your instructors get ready for you to do a lesson plan, they'll provide you and they'll go over that format with you and how to fill it out. So right now you may not want to worry about lesson plan because you may not be doing the lesson plans yet. You probably want to wait until one of your courses starts making you write lesson plans. All right, I know we're almost at the end of our meeting and I want to talk about just a couple more things. So and I do have another meeting scheduled for 5:30, so I'm going to try to make this quick. I'm sorry, y'all. So we have this portfolio. What you'll do is, like I said earlier, you're going to create the ePortfolio. So you're going to log into SLL. This is going to be where you start your home page, your progress page, and then your ePortfolio. So you'll see it after you create it. You'll see it in here. You'll need to save it every time you add stuff in here, so it'll keep it in there. And then that's how you'll get back to it. Now, what you'll want to do is once you get some stuff in your portfolio, you're going to want to click share and make it public. You're going to need to check that box to make it public. And this is going to be the URL for your portfolio. You're going to copy that URL and you're going to close your portfolio, go back to your progress. And where it says Elementary Online Pathway Started Portfolio, you're going to click there and you will click this where it says your portfolio link submission. Click on that. And here you're going to paste that link in there that you just copied. So that's your link for your portfolio. You're going to paste it in there and you're going to click submit. And then that's how we will be able to see that you've already started your portfolio. We can see it on our end that you've started it. So it's live. We can see as you progress through your semester. So at the end of this semester, we're going to go in and check y'all's portfolios to see how much you put in there. We hope that you've put at least 2 or 3 things in your portfolio by the end of this semester. And then next semester, you'll add a little bit more. And the next semester, you'll add a little bit more. So make sure you make that link public and then copy and paste the link in here where your link submission tab is. All right, so really quickly, that is what I needed to show you about SLL and the portfolio. I wanted to talk real quick about those of you that are career changers or if you're not employed. I know there are a couple that still have their hand up and I'll get back to you in just a second.
There's one that is on there by number.
All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I had someone at my door. I'm sorry. Okay, so real quickly, those of you that are career changers or are not employed, you will need to go into a school system for 10 days out of each semester until you get ready to student teach. Once you start student teaching, you're going to need to be either employed with a school system as a para, or you're going to need to do a traditional student teaching placement, which means you would be in the classroom for 15 weeks with the same mentor teacher. All of you understand, I believe Dr. Abbott has already told you as your advisor, by the time you start student teaching, you have to be in a pre-K through 5th grade general ed classroom. Those of you that are in special ed classrooms right now, you need to go ahead and talk to your administrators about moving you to a general ed classroom before you student teach. Your last semester has to be in a pre-K through 5th general ed setting. Those of you that are not employed or career changers, go ahead and start looking for para jobs. Get into a school system before you're student teaching so you can get paid while you're student teaching. If not, if you don't have a para job, then we can help you find a placement for student teaching, but you just wouldn't be getting paid. It would just be a traditional student teaching placement. But each semester before student teaching, if you're not in a school system, you will need to go into a school for 10 days out of the semester. We have a form that you all can take with you. If you're not in our region, if you live in North Georgia somewhere, we don't have partner schools in North Georgia. So we would give you this form. No, that's the commitment form. We would give you this form. It's a placement request letter. So I would give you this. You would take this to a school of your choice. So go find an elementary school somewhere around where you live. Take this form with you and ask to meet with an administrator. Ask them if you can do field experience there in their school for 10 days out of the semester. You pick your 10 days, you work around your schedule, pick your 10 days, and we'll fill this in for you. Your name, your required number of hours would be 10 days. It wouldn't be hours. It would be 10 full days. Required subject to grade level. We would look and figure all that out where you needed to be. And then your hours would need to be completed by the end of the semester. So we just put in the end of the semester's date here. And then you would take this, get an approval from an administrator, tell me their name, phone number, email address. And at that point, I would reach out to that administrator and confirm that you have talked to them and that that they approve for you to come do field experience. Once you get this back to me, and once I start talking to get the administrator and have the approval from the administrator, then you would be able to start your 10 days. And at that point, I would give you a time log so that you could log those 10 days on a piece of paper and get a mentor to sign it for you. Those of you that are career changers and not employed, please email me in the next few days so that we can get this process started. I'll need to get this form to you so that you can take it to get a placement somewhere near where you live. Now, if you live in our area, then I can help you get a placement. I can help find a placement for you. You won't have to go through this form. So tell me when you email me, if you're a career changer or you're not employed, tell me where you live so that I'll know if I need to get you a placement in our area. I do know one of you already. I think I do have a placement in our area for you because I've already talked to you about it. But just let me know where you live so that I can help you get a placement if I need to. I think that is pretty much all I had. I know we're like out of time already. We're over time. I'm really sorry, y'all. But real quick, I'm going to open it up again. If there's any final questions, I am recording this, so I will send you the recording for you to look back on. And y'all, please email me with any questions that you might have specific to your position or your situation. Email me or call me and ask me. We'll work through it together. We'll make sure you get what you need so that you can finish your program and be certified. We don't want you to get to the end and not have what you need. Let's see. Where are we at? The chat box. So we moved to the special ed online program. At first, that was not an option, which is why I changed my major to elementary. That would be a question for Dr. Abbott. I believe you probably could. Some of the classes that you take now are the same classes that you take in that special ed program. So I think you probably can. But you will probably want to email Dr. Abbott ASAP and ask her that question if you could be moved to that program. And Brittany, yes, the portfolio is before student teaching. So this portfolio and SLL you're going to work on from now until you start student teaching. When you start student teaching, you actually have a student teaching portfolio to do, and it looks completely different than this. So this one is your just meeting your grade bands. So this one is just proof that you've been in the 3 different grade bands and that you're ready to do your final semester of student teaching. All right, any more? I got one more hand. Marina, your hand was raised.
Yes. So when we finish this portfolio and our student teaching, you have to send all that over to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, and then
So we submit all the things that you do, like for our programs. We have to submit things to the PSC that you have done in your program. So once you've finished all of these things for your program, you've finished all your courses, you've done the grade band, all the 3 grade bands, you've done your student teaching. Once you've done all of that and you graduate, then we send your transcripts. So like all of those things we send to the PSC. And at that point, once you're done and you've graduated, then and you have to pass the GACE at the end of your program, that GACE test that Georgia offers. You have to go and take that GACE test and pass that GACE test. Once you passed your GACE test and graduated, then we send all that to the PSC and they will give you your teaching certificate.
So we will have to take the GACE test before we graduate with you guys, or that's different?
So it's not, I mean, it's not necessarily with us, like you don't have to take it at GSW. It's a state test. So you go on your online account and you sign up for a date. They have date and testing locations all over the state of Georgia. You know how like nurses have to take boards before they can get their
Yes.
nursing license? It's the same thing with teachers. Like teachers, once you're in a teaching program, you have to take the GACE test to be able to get your teaching license.
Okay, but once we finish with y'all and we complete everything, we still will get our bachelor. So that's totally different.
Right.
We got to move on and go somewhere else for the GACE. Okay, I
Well,
get it.
no, actually, so no, you'll get your bachelor's from us, but in that last semester while you're student teaching, or even the semester before you student teach, you can
Mhm.
take the GACE at that point. So you can take the GACE before you graduate, so that when you graduate with us, you'll have your bachelor's. And if you pass the GACE, then you'll be able to get your teaching certificate. So you'll have your bachelor's degree and get your teaching certificate. If for some reason you don't pass the GACE and you need to retake it, then you would still get your bachelor's degree, but you would just have to wait until you pass that GACE to be able to get your certification.
Okay, all right.
All right, y'all, I'm going to jump over on my other meeting with the other program. I will stop the recording now, but I'll send you all this next week. I'll send that commitment form to you next week. And please email me if you are a career changer or not employed so that we can get that process started for you. Y'all have a great afternoon. Please let me know if y'all have any questions. I'm here. That's what I do. I'm here for y'all. Y'all have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you soon.